What's going on? This is City Chapters Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby J. Today's chapter is with Joe Morris from Culinary Dope. Joe Morris is the man behind Culinary Dope, which offers premier culinary art experiences in Eastern Washington. He is also the executive chef at Luna, located on the South Hill. What's going on, Joe?
Man, what's good with it, man? What's good with it? Happy to be here.
Yeah, man, we were just talking off camera. This is your first podcast, so I'm honored to have you on City Chapters to do it, man.
Hey, and if you know me, I love podcasts, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
I feel like I've listened to enough where I can got some training on it, I understand how to go with it. But like I said, I told y'all, just give me the signal. We be all right. So,
Yeah, man.
all right, man.
Yeah, let's start with this question. Tell us about Culinary Dope and why you started it.
All right, well, Culinary Dope was something that I realized when we were when I first started getting into cooking, that it was just more than just being a chef. Mm-hmm. And it was like almost like how can you like do other things with this being your foundation? And so, we were up at Luna. I told you earlier, we were working. We were putting in a lot of work up there. Mm-hmm. And I kind of felt like nobody really knew who we was. They would always talk about everybody else in the city and everything like that. So, I told you the competition kind of like spurned it just to see the things that you could do with food. Spurned it. There was so much energy behind it when we did it. And then when 2020 hit, it kind of was like, all right. We kind of like start making your own path and doing something. And it came more to a realization what Culinary Dope was. And it was like a lifestyle. I ain't never think about it like, oh man, we're just hey, we just put on events or we just do something like that. And to me, it was like, it's a lifestyle because this is like my lifestyle.
Right.
And so that's kind of what it was. But my lifestyle is a lot of people's lifestyles. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, all right, cool, we can package it up and we can do it that way. And that's kind of like how we got it. Like Currency got Audio Dope. When I first heard that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, jet lag.
Yeah. We track trafficking. So I was like, all right, I get it. And that was something I understood. I was like, all right, I get how to do that now. And then it was just more of kind of pinning down the culinary part of it. But that was the beauty of the culinary part. It's like massive. It's everything. So that's what we tried to do. And it just kind of took off kind of like from there.
So Culinary Dope is like based upon you guys doing events, right? And collaborations with other restaurants and creating basically unique experiences between your style of chef and culinary art with another chef. Is that correct? Or?
Yeah, all right, so the first one we did was kind of like a cooking competition. Mm-hmm. And it was with
Food
IPK.
Champs? What was it called?
Yeah, Food Champs.
Food Champs.
Yeah, because I was on another Champs podcast really hard, if you can put the two together. Uh-huh. And, but also, too, everybody was talking about, I told you, you can't come up to me. I'll be at work, and you're like, oh, man, everything was good. Man, we was down here. We was eating down here. And so I was like, all right, well, cool. I do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And there was a chef. It was like Austin and CJ. They were down at IPK, and they were doing some good food. They were doing some good food. But I just went down there, and I was like, yo, we could put this little competition on kind of thing. And that was like the first like dope event, when you tell somebody an idea, and the next thing they say, like, oh, man, that's dope, then we already did it. Mm-hmm. Just like what we're doing, it has a little bit of everything to it. And so that's what we did. And, like, all the parameters around it was, like, loose but contained at the same time. I can't tell you what you like to eat, and I don't want to put you in a box. So, as a chef, I'm going to tell you, make whatever you want. You got 3 dishes. You can make whatever you want. There's no parameters. There's no dessert, app, or weird ingredient. Make what you want to make. If you're really good at it, you confident in what you do, make that. Mm-hmm. Show what you got. And then we'll let the consumer, the customer, the guest, choose what they like. Because I can't tell Bobby what he like to eat. You might be like, man, Joe, you did a good job at that. But I could eat this dish all day. There's something about it. So that was what was fun. And then it was like getting the community together. So you got different kinds of people in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got different kinds of people, and it was diverse. And it was a lot of that, and people just really having a good time. And you always come together over food.
Yeah.
And think about it. So that's kind of how it went, and then it just kind of moving and grooving from there. So,
you recently did a collaboration culinary art experience with Casa Cano Farms. Tell us about that event, what went behind it, and how it all went.
At Luna, we've been working with this farm called Casa Cano Farms. For almost like 10 years now. It's been a long time. They were friends of a guy that worked there named Taylor. He in New York right now. What's up, Taylor? Passion fruit coffee. He's doing this thing over there. But he got the connection with that there. And then as we grew, they grew. And we were learning and getting things from them. And then it's crazy because about 2020, everything changed. But about that time, I kind of turned into focusing more on my health and then my wealth and my physical being. I was doing a lot of just overdoing it. Everybody was like, "Oh, you gotta go get the shot." I was like, "Well, I think I need to work on myself before I can do anything like that," because I was already messing it up. So my life changed, and I just started getting healthy and learning about food. And along this journey, I realized that we've been sourcing food from a farm. That everything we're getting, the majority of the stuff we're getting is from them. A lot of it, and how much of a difference that makes, and how much of how impact it has on your body, and where you're getting all of this stuff. And so it opened up a whole new world. And then their farm transformed, and it became, it's a farm, but it became beautiful and became like a storefront, and that's the house, that's the livelihood. And it felt just like symmetry just to do that. And I told them, we talked about it in April, and I was out there, and I'm talking to them about food in a different kind of way. I ain't just talking to them about oh man, hey, I made this dish. That's how I used to. Oh, I made this dish, but now I'm man, when you take the mushrooms and you make this, and you take care into making the stock, and then understanding the benefits that's going to have for you, and then we're selling it and we're giving it to the guests, and everybody getting, you're like, man, we really are pushing a great product. We're pushing something out that people appreciate the different kinds of food and where it comes from, and we really have integrity to the ingredients. And I didn't realize we were doing that. You ever do something and you don't even know you're doing it, and then you're like, oh shit, I was doing that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, cool. Now it's on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it went. And then so it just was it worked for them. And I wanted to throw a little cocktail party and just a little celebration on the farm, and they were down, and it was a movie. It was awesome.
Yeah, it
was awesome, bro.
Curated cocktails with each plate or something like that.
Oh yeah,
going on?
Oh yeah. So we have there's a bartender at Luna. His name is Ryan Brackett, and we on the same level about stuff. And we gonna talk. And he approached cocktails like a chef kind of approaches their, a dish and their ingredients and stuff. And I was like, ooh, you're gonna treat this food right. You're gonna treat this right. You're gonna bring magic. You're gonna make this ingredient even better, because he just does that. And so it just kind of was like I said, when the symmetry is there, it's natural. Sometimes I might be like, hey, we're gonna do something, and they be like, all right. Then I'll come up later and be like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. They had these watermelons. My kids are going to be like, oh, he's going to talk about the watermelon and the cantaloupe. But out there, and I never really seen it out in just the farm.
On the field, yeah.
Man, it's crazy out there. So you're out there and we're looking at them. And it's great. And I know, the benefits it has for your body, and then how great the hydration is. And, this man made a cocktail out of that watermelon. It tasted like a Jolly Rancher. This shit was crazy. The watermelon Jolly Rancher when y'all was growing up, and it would stick to you pull that thing and eat. Boy, that cocktail tastes like that. I said, ooh, bruh. Fire.
Super good.
It was fire, man.
Yeah.
So that's what I said when I said everything was like flowing and everything was moving and grooving, and then you're in the environment where the food comes from. And you sitting there drinking the watermelon drink, and you can see
where the watermelon
come on,
is.
man.
Yeah.
Come on now, man.
Yeah.
Come
It's
on,
beautiful,
bruh.
man.
You out there doing it. And that's what it was. And then it's kind of like once you do something, it's like, all right, cool. We moving on.
So,
You know?
kind of the whole premise is like bringing a real depth to the experience of the food that you eat and the cocktails, like bringing depth to it. Like you said, yeah, I could make a dish, but now I'm at a place where like I can tell you a whole story behind this dish.
Yeah, you get the understanding of it. You understand everything that goes into what you're doing. You understand what the watermelon is. You understand what the steak is or the beef is. You see how it comes up when you're just out there. It was just a different feel, a different look, you know? And it was like, cool. It made you appreciate going into work more. It made you appreciate the care we took into the ingredients and the techniques and everything like that, and keeping our station clean, and then all those little mise en place things. And then to give the guests that come into Luna and that come to the events like the best experience ever. I mean, when people out here working hard, bruh, they working hard. It ain't about Joe. It ain't about the dope or Luna. It's about the guests. When you come in, you come to the event, you come into the restaurant, you're gonna get the best experience. That's what we want to do. That's our goal. We don't hit it all the time. I mean, even Michael Jordan missed a layup.
Right.
You know. But when it's your goal and it's your focus and it's what you're trying to do, and you try to and you push that onto your peoples, and you find people with the same lightness and goals, and it just moves symmetry, and it's kind of like how it goes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I told you I could kind of ramble. I could.
No,
talk,
it's good,
so,
brother.
yeah.
Like this is what it's about. You know.
Yeah.
That's the thing about podcasting, man, is just getting your thoughts out and sharing with the people who you are. This man behind it, because like I was saying a little bit off camera too. Like my perception of Luna. Like I knew Luna before you were there, but since you got there. You're the OG homie. Like I always knew you from a distance because I know your little brother, Tim, but he ain't little big Tim.
Hey, he be a little brother in the phone.
So I've always known of you as being kind of the OG, and then I heard you got up at Luna, and I had homies, that would go through there and support and all that, and then I've been there through a few times and seen you there, and you brought something new to Luna that they didn't have, I think. And then when you started doing the culinary dope, and I had actually had a homegirl share with me the Casa Cano Farms event. And then after that was the first time I heard of Casa Cano.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, and then now I see them on different menus that I've been to at other restaurants.
You see it, man. Their product is good,
And the event looks sick from the video y'all shared.
Fire.
Yeah, man.
Fire. But that's what it's supposed to be. And that's the goal. Like I said, is to make it so everybody has a great time. We packing up, we leaving, we rolling. When you're in the car and you're going home, that's the best feeling. Like, man, everybody had a good time. Did you feel that in the air? Ugh. Ugh. That's why when I said it's like a movement. When I said that's what it is. Rockefeller was a movement. When you heard a song, you're like, ooh, we know what it is right here. You knew how people move. Cash Money. I looked at it like that. Like these are movements when people are doing different things. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, cool, and you can capture the culture. And the culture is like the people when you see those things. So when people are doing different things, that's what I was like, yo, that's what it is. You got to ride that wave, and that's what to me, culinary dope is. That's why I said it's kind of hard to put it in the box. You can't just say, oh, they did the event. Yeah, well, what are they gonna do next? I don't know. I don't even. I mean, I do know.
I do know,
but I don't know at the same time because it's kind of like, all right, cool. Well, what are we gonna do? How's it flowing? How's it feeling? So, but yeah, Luna's, yeah. Like I said, they all just kind of come one and the same. So
yeah, Joe, I'm gonna have you move a little closer to the mic.
See, I told you.
Yeah, it's all
Appreciate
good.
that.
It's all good. Let's see. So we'll keep the future collaborations. You'll know when you know.
Oh yeah, I might say something at the end. We'll see,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been the executive chef at Luna, and how has that impacted your career?
Man, I've been there. I've been the executive chef. Man, I lost track. About 10 years. You know, Luna's like my second home. You know, and I was kind of able to like as I've grown as a person, Luna's kind of grown, and you know, it's been ups and downs. You know, a lot of good people have been in there. A lot of good people have left us. But, you know, it's always just kind of felt like home. And then it was like, I always felt like there was never anything else that was better than that. So why we was going to leave? And I always wanted to give us like more recognition. I felt like we weren't getting, I still feel like that.
Yeah.
I still feel like we don't get like, when we get the love, but we don't get the love.
I feel you, bro.
Man, you ain't
From
gonna open up no magazine. You ain't gonna open up no Inlander, no nothing like that. And you ain't gonna see us on there.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna see us. They don't come and talk to us. And we cool with it, but I'm not cool with it at the same time. And I only say that because I kind of feel like it's not just for me. It's for like my guys.
Yeah.
And our guests and the people that support us, like, man, you know, you're doing all these things, and you're like, man, they don't ever say, like, man, y'all should go eat there. That's good. They never say that. They'll say it to each other, but
we went there for my birthday last year.
Come on, man.
So,
Come on now.
we pulled up.
But, you know, every now and then it'll feel good to open it up and they'll be like, oh, yeah. And not just for me, for, like, all the people that, like, you know, put their heart and soul into it. We work hard up there.
Right.
We in that grind, bro. We work hard to, like, do that.
Well, I think Spokane, there seems to be, from my perception, there's little cliques of circles of people that like get highlighted all the time. You know what I mean? And then there's people that really do great things out here, but they don't really get the love or the shine that they should be. I think that Spokane could be better in general about spreading the light onto individuals that are really out here doing different things.
No disagreements with that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no disagreements with that at all. And, you know, ain't nothing but love to all the places getting love. I ain't got nothing but love for that, too. I want them to keep getting the love. Yeah. I mean, don't put it on that, but I want it to, like, be shared.
Right.
I want everybody to kind of get it.
Spread the light, yeah.
You know? I want everybody to get it. If you were to meet me, you'd never be like, oh, man, that nigga, he did all of that. No. I want everybody to get the love. I just feel like we just don't get kind of what, you know, in other places, and it just is what it is. But there are, like, little cliques, there are, like, little things like that. Whatever. I mean, that's life.
I mean, from my perspective, Luna always has been kind of the top-notch spot on the hill. So at least there's that accolade.
Yeah.
I think that's a common perception.
Yeah. Like I said, I think more, it's just more like every now and then you just want to open up the magazine and just kind of see that. Yeah. I think that's more where it is. You know, it's almost like you ever do something and you know you're doing a great job at it and nobody say anything, but they'll tell other people. And then one day they'll say, hey, bro, you're doing a good job. And that's it. That's all you need. You're like, I'm cool. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah. It'd be cool to come into work one day and one of the guys be like, oh, look, they talked about us right here in the thing. I'm like, yeah, no, you did a good job. That's what we do. Yeah. That's more than anything, that's what it is. I feel we get, you know, I feel people know.
Yeah.
I feel people, you know, like, hey, yo, Luna, they good.
Right.
But every now and then it'd be nice to like, oh.
Yeah.
That's really nice. That was a cool little whatever. So,
I mean, my dream for this podcast, you know, and I think that I'm living in that dream, but I would like to be able to bring this podcast to where it does bring a lot of exposure to the individuals that come on. You know what I mean? Like, one thing that I want to do is help spread the light on individuals in this town that are doing amazing things, whether they're big, huge, or not. It doesn't matter, but preferably, there's a lot of individuals that I think do amazing things that maybe aren't even recognized at all. You know what I mean? And I feel like having them on and them sharing their story, because I think there's value in a lot of people. Most people probably have value. I'm going to go ahead and say that. But I just think there's certain individuals in our community that should be highlighted more and lifted up more. And I'm hoping that this podcast can be a part of that.
I mean, like I said, when I see my boy Christian on here, and then I saw your thing, and that's what I saw. I was like, everybody. People I know, people I was like, didn't know they were doing stuff. It was cool to see that. It was cool to see the city getting represented like that, Cool. So, I'm with it. That's kind of why I was like reached out to you. I was like, yo, what's up? You want to talk? I can talk.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
It was cool to see that you wanted to come on here, man. It was really cool because, like I said, you OG Joe Morris to me. Grew up with your little bro Tim, and so like to have you want to come on, I was just like, yo, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was definitely cool.
So, where we asked about Luna, how it impacts your career. Where did your culinary journey begin? Like, how did you even get into all this?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I love food.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got real food memories. Like, first time I ate a Maryland blue crab, my dad and them would get it out the bay, and he like brought them home. They were live, and he put them in the kitchen, and they just scurried all to the thing, and and then he steamed them with the Old Bay seasoning, and it was like ooh, like the first time you kind of like were like, oh man. So
was this in Florida?
That was in Virginia. That was in Virginia. Oh
okay.
Man, but you can get them in Florida too. Like when I go down now, my birthday and stuff. My dad, I'm like, hey, let's go get some crabs. He already know what time it is. He already know. But then I already had like love for food, like a deep love. I love to eat. Let's go hang out. We can go eat, and then it just kind of just like evolved. And I always kind of had jobs like working in kitchens. So I was kind of comfortable in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
When you're comfortable in the kitchen, I mean, the kitchen people will be different. It's a hard, like, industry. I mean, like, when they work hard, they party hard, they drink hard, they do a lot of those things hard. And it's crazy because it's like a badge of honor to do it, even though there's no benefits from it. Isn't that crazy? But you got to learn how to do that to get through it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right.
So, but that's the kind of people I love to be around. That's what I am. So, I live life hard. And it just kind of started making sense. And I just was always doing it, and I was always just around that. And I love to eat. And then my mom and them moved back to Florida, and I was hungry. And I started asking for recipes. And I started like asking for this and asking for that. And then my kid's mom's brother was going to culinary school, so I started like learning how to use a knife. And he taught me like how to use a knife and like how to like cut and dice. And then I went to culinary school, and I started like learning the history behind it. That's what school did for me. I mean, they showed me a couple things here and there, but it was like the history. And like I said, things are meant to do that. So in school, there was a instructor named Chef Lombardi. And I remember having like a moment in life, and he kind of like brought me back. But he was the first person that made me like say like, hey, you can do more in cooking than just cook. Where you're like, oh man, like what? Hey, you ain't just going to school just to be a cook and then a chef. There's so much more you can be. This could just be your foundation to do anything else. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh. He was like, Joe, you got that. But you don't know that. You got to figure that out. But you got to get good at your craft before you can do those things. Like you got to make the basics. You got to have those down, and you build up to where you're like, oh, doing the everyday stuff is easy. And that's what cooking became. And after that, I just started growing. And it just started growing. And I loved it. And I started going different places and eating. And then it was just like, oh, how do you do that? I always ask a question. How do you do that? What about this? So, and then I had good people. I worked with really, I've had the pleasure and like the honor, and God's blessed me that I've worked with some really like good people who like put up with my bullshit, who like put up with everything, but like taught me things. Like I learned stuff. You know, like it wasn't no thing to be like, you know, I could be like, hey, Taylor. Like, even like the technical stuff. I tell people all the time, I work with this guy named Taylor. He worked at like a Michelin star restaurant. To like go stage there or go work there or learn that kind of stuff, that's what people want to do because they're trying to get a skill set. Well, I got that every day because I worked with him for like 6 years every day, 5 years or whatever it was. So I'd come in there and be like, yo, I was reading this in the book. How we do that? And he'd be like, oh, man, let me show you how to do this. And you would learn. You're around somebody all the time, and you're like, oh, this is how you do things. You know, one of my sous chef, Eric, Deborah, you know. I started learning this more than just that. It's business. Aaron, the owners, like really opening up and letting me do things there. And you just, I mean, if you ain't learning, you know, if you ain't learning and living, come on, bruh. And that's what it was. School became like, oh, you going to the gym, and then work was like, oh, the second workout. Like, all right, let's go and get it. Where you could apply it. Then I just started learning how to like put it together. And then, you know, when you know how to hustle and you know how to do all that, you can bring everything into one. It kind of became that. And you just had to learn. So, but that's how like the food journey really began. And then I was passionate about it. I loved it. I love, you know what I mean, making something good to eat. Come on, man. And then I have like, you know, people be like, what kind of style do you cook? That's everything. Everything. I mean, like, I don't know. We could blow one down, and you might be like, Joe, I want to eat this. I'm like, yeah, we can eat that. You know, hey, we could, you know, you could be like, man, I remember my homeboy wanted to make this like vanilla ice cream syrup. I was like, bro, come on, man. I can't put that on at Luna. And I was doing brunch. I was like, yeah, we can't do that. He said, oh, man. I said, bro, you blowing down these big trees talking about vanilla ice cream syrup. You think I'm playing? Next day, I come up with a pancake dish with the bacon with the vanilla ice cream syrup, and I realized it was just a vanilla anglaise that they just turned it different on the internet. We sold so many damn pancakes. So many pancakes with that vanilla syrup. People slopping that thing in the back. I came home, I told him, I said, man, you was right, that shit the bomb, bro. He's like, yeah, I told you. You learn these things. I was like, you know, you putting it all together. So that's kind of what it became. And I never like lost focus, like never lost like track of that. You know, like as your position grows and everything like that, you know, that part's the fun part. Because everything else, it's just business. And that part's the fun part. The cooking, the creating, the bringing a smile to your face, looking out, you know, see somebody to eat, they're like, like, oh. Yeah. Like, I see it because, I be out there, I'm looking,
right,
and people, they don't know it's me or whatever. You're like, all right, is he going to get what I did there? Like, oh. Ooh. Ain't no feeling like that. That's better than sometimes they're saying, yo, you did a good job. We still want to read it, though. But, you know, it was just like, it was like that. And it was just like learning how to be a better person. Learning how to like change your mentality about things. You know, being humble and admitting your faults.
Learning being accountable too, right?
Yeah. But you got to hold yourself.
Yeah.
And then once you hold yourself, you have to grow from that. And then once you grow from that, you realize how far down you really were. So you got to grow some more. And then you got to create a foundation. And you got to make sure it's stable. And then you got to grow anymore. So I tell people, it ain't nothing like, you ain't going to, Rome wasn't built overnight, you heard me? Like, you got to be willing to put in that, like, work. And once you are, you'll see the benefits. And that's what it was. And it was in all aspects of life, you know, as like a husband, a partner, and a father, and a friend, and a leader in that kitchen, you know, and a visionary. It was like every part of that. You know how it is, and you got to like do that. And as you do that, you realize like, oh man, shit getting better. Shit really getting better. And everything works, and the symmetry works. So, like, that whole cooking journey became that. And it was cool when people started coming up and be like, yo, man, what's up, man? I'm like, what? Yo, bro, I don't know you. I'm talking to me. And then it was kind of like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's where that growth comes in, though,
yeah,
right? Like you're saying.
That's just growing in life. But yeah, I had to get to that, you know.
I mean, I'm the same way, you know, that a certain lifestyle and way for some time that I live, it's like when random people come up on me, I'm like, hey, bro, I don't know you like that. But then it's like once you step into kind of like what we do, like you're head chef at Luna, like people know you. They're wanting to appreciate you, say hi to you.
Yeah, but I get it. In the beginning, it was different.
Yeah, but you had to adjust.
Yeah. Especially because I mean, people who know me, they be like, I know who Joe was. Joe was wild. You know, some people want to be like, yeah, but
same here, man. Same here.
But you had to grow, and you had to deal with it, and you had to understand that.
Well, and you understand too that those behaviors or like perspectives aren't going to help you get to your dream in this stuff.
So like I said, as long as you're willing to make those changes and to go through with that and continue to do that, cool. You can't change the past. You can only like change the future. Put that on a shirt. You see how like look at the camera like that? All right.
Yeah. So where did you go to culinary school? Was it in Spokane?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started that school?
Man, you don't ask people their age, man. It ain't nothing but a number. We all, you know. I can't even tell you how old I was. I was in my 30s, you know. But like I said, I started going to school. It was at SEC. It was at Illinois Northwest Culinary Academy.
Cool.
You know, and it was cool. It was a cool program. And, you know, I caught like the tail end of like where you had to have like a bunch of hours, and you had to learn how to plan. So I learned a lot there, and it was cool to like do that. And the whole school process for me was different because like I got in, but then I got out. It was a long story. So to get back into culinary school on the waiting list, I just had to like enroll in the school. So I just started like, I finished my 2-year degree, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I just started taking business classes. Speech classes and communications where you're like, all right, how can I can like break this thought process down to get it out there. So I was doing all that before I even lifted up a knife. So, and then after that, I was like, all right, cool. So I could see when the chef was like, hey, you got to put everything together. And I was like, all right, I was thinking about that. Didn't even know it. And that's how we like started moving with it. So
nice. What led up to you getting the position for executive chef at Luna? What do you remember that moment, that offer? How did that all happen for you?
All right. Well, I mean, to be real, the dude fucked up. The dude just wasn't doing his job.
The other head chef?
Yeah. Both of them. Both of them. They just weren't doing their job. And me and my sous chef at the time, Deborah, we were just kind of doing our jobs.
Okay, so you were a sous chef.
Yeah,
at Luna already?
they had pulled me up, but I didn't know what that meant. That was just a name. I didn't know what it was. I just knew we had to steady the ship, but I didn't understand like the cost in the business because those guys weren't doing any of that. And then, you know, when they switched ownership and Aaron and them came in, you know, it was different. And so we went through one chef, then we went through another chef, and then I just kind of like just went into the position.
Nice.
Like it just kind of happened that way. It wasn't no like, hey, you're gonna be our chef. It was just kind of like, all right, well, I guess you it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, cool, let's do it. And we had to learn. And I had a team at that time, and that was what was great. We had a good team. So, you know, my boy Eric is really good at doing this, and then Deborah was really good at doing that. and Taylor was really good at this, and I was good at this. So I said, ain't no like, this is never the Joe show. It's the everybody show.
Yeah.
I'm great at filling in the blanks. It's everybody's show, you know. And there's a lot of people that do a lot of good things behind the scenes, and they did that, and I learned from them. So now, whatever was a weakness for me, I can do that, and so I was able to grow. So as you grow, then you meet other people, and you're able to do these other things. So at that time, they just filled in all the blanks for me, and we were like it was like a 4-headed monster, and then became a 3-headed monster. And a 2-headed monster. It was just Joe, but I learned as time went, you know what I mean? So, but it wasn't no like formal announcement, nothing like that. It was just more like, hey,
Yeah.
let's do it, whatever, let's go. And then just kind of move from there. And then, you know, here we are like 7 years later, 6 years later, you know? So, but it was cool because I saw the old Luna, and I saw where we are now. So I got both worlds. That's different. A lot of people didn't get both worlds. I got both worlds for real. So I understand when they had some of that because the first world was a little bit old. I didn't know how Spokane broke down for the longest time.
Yeah.
When we moved here from Florida, I didn't know about like the South Hill. I didn't know about. I just called that Spokane. We're coming in from Airway Heights Medical Lake. I was like, I'm going to Spokane.
Yeah.
I don't know where we going.
Yeah.
Where you at, Joe? I don't know. We blowing these trees, though, and I don't know what's happening. But we here. And then as I started working and going around, I'd be like, all right, well, this is the hill. It's north side. Oh, that's Hilliard over here. Oh, that's the east side down there. Oh, that's the Wild West. That's the west side down there. Oh, you got your Shado area. And I started, like, knowing what Spokane was. Funny because I knew, like, you know, like Orlando, and I knew, like, little parts of Baltimore. So it was funny. That's how Spokane broke down. Then I realized what the hill was. I was like, oh, okay, a little bit more shigga-ding. Yeah. you know, so, but, yeah. Luna's definitely been a journey. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've always enjoyed every time I've been up there, you know. And yeah, I feel like the food is very experiential there. The environment is, so it's cool because there hasn't been as of yet like a lot of restaurants that center on the experience. You know, it's more like service, food, and hopefully it's good. Like I ate at.
See, I ain't like that. I ain't like what you said there. You know, did you hear what he said there? He said, you know, sometimes it's either service or food, and you hope that is good. That's not good. When you automatically think that, that's not a good thing. If you got to go someplace and go, man, shit, I hope we get all three things. That's not good. And that's like, that's the stuff that when I talk about, like, hey, the cooking is the fun part. That takes work.
That's the separation.
That takes sacrifice to like get people together and move them as a team and as a unit.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, around like a common goal, even if they don't even know that's the goal. Sometimes you got to give it to them without giving it to them. And that's what it is. Because like I said, you come into Luna, you're going to get a little bit of everything. And then we come in, we get a pizza and chill, we get these sliders, I get a burger. I could bring my lady in there. We can have a great time, some special occasion, and you will never feel out of place. That's the crazy part. You'll never feel. You can come in there with the hoodie. We're gonna drink. We're gonna pour it up. We're gonna watch some of these games. You can bring your family in there. You know, oh, we got a little business. We could bring a business meeting. You get everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you vegetarian? Come in. You vegan? You got this? We're gonna try. We got you. Yeah, we trying our best. We ain't lying to you. We try to be 100% local, but we ain't 100% local, but we trying.
Yeah.
We know where the food comes from. We understand what we're doing back there. And we work hard to give y'all the best product. And that is like our goal. And I feel like that's, you know how we talked about how the basics should be the basics? That should be the basics for places.
It should be.
That should be. It shouldn't be like, oh, I hope. That should be like, no, hey, listen, guys. I know things that happen in life. Man, when these people come in the door, it's up to us to give us their best experience. And that's what you expect. That's what you would want. So like, and there's definitely places that do that. But I get it. But I just had to say that because the way you said that, I was like, man, I dig it.
Yeah, it's a
You know,
it's a real
sometimes
problem.
you don't want
man.
that. Yeah.
And I know that because I've traveled enough to experience restaurants in cities where they really have that dialed in.
They just do it. It's
Like,
regular.
and they have to even stay open.
Yeah,
like
they
the
do
competition level is so high in these other places where here, I don't know what it is about Spokane, but even like sometimes the staff, the hostesses and stuff, like they ain't even giving you a good experience off the gate.
No, right.
Like they're just cold and like, hey, follow us. Like
it has
it's like,
that kind of like
what is
what
going on?
they call that laissez-faire. Oh, I got my
Yeah.
French on now. They call that laissez-faire. Well,
Yeah.
that's that relaxation, that laid back attitude, that kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yo, in my head, I'm really, really good looking. I'm too good looking for you to be like sunning me. I come in there, you better be like, oh, what's up?
Yeah.
You know, but
Right.
that's what you want. You want to feel welcome when you come into place. You want to feel that. And, you know, it does happen and it sucks. But to me, you don't hold that person accountable. You go, okay, cool. Well, this is what the character of the place is. Because if it wasn't, then that person would have been held accountable for it.
Right.
And it's not even in a bad way. It's like, hey, excuse me, Heather. Hey, when people come in that door, yo, you better say what's up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care what's going on. Just say what's up. That is not mean or harsh. That's like, hey, just approaching you about doing your job.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's not hard. You go to McDonald's, the food might not be quality, but they always ask how you doing. Hey, how you doing today? You good? Yeah, I'm good. You know,
Right.
the coffee shop, they always say, how you doing? You good? You good. When I take more time to come to a restaurant doing that, I want to be treated right.
Yeah.
So,
I won't go back if I'm not.
I'm going back. I'm going to look at Carly.
You don't even have to do anything that's like ultra disrespectful. If you just don't even show appreciation,
Yeah.
like to the fact that we're coming to your restaurant to spend money, like there's no welcoming, there's no, like I've always said about everything that I do and people I'm involved with and what we do, it's all about the experience.
Yeah.
What are people going to feel when they wear my product or when they listen to the podcast or whatever it is? Like, you want to provide something that's going to make people give value to people. One, like that's, I guess, a good way to simply put it too. Like, we always talk about what value do you provide? Like, if I go to your restaurant and I don't feel valued, and the food that you are giving me doesn't feel valued, why you think I want to ever come back? And then you want to be mad that people don't support you.
Don't get mad at me about it.
Yeah.
You know, but like you said, that's got to be the norm. That's what, and it's crazy to think that that's not the norm. You know, I don't know. We in the service industry. I live to kind of make people happy. I love to make my kids happy. I love to make my lady happy. I like to be happy.
I've seen you on the floor at Luna several times, like talking to people.
I go out there.
Yeah.
I'll say what's up to you. Especially if you by the bar, because we watching TV over there sometimes.
Right.
Watching the games. But I go out to people.
And
I enjoy when the guests come in. That's the greatness of the kitchen. It's open. We see people. We greet you when you come in. I'm engaging you. Mm-hmm. Yo, that's your first impression. Yo, if I walk into your house, if I walked in here and I was like, yo, how you doing? And you was like, oh man, we have a problem.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if you were just like, oh, we might have a problem. You know what I mean? Like, so if I come into the restaurant and you just kind of like don't say nothing, you acknowledge me and then you just walk away, I ain't feeling good about this. And it's the little things. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to say hello to somebody.
Right.
It ain't gotta be crazy.
No.
You know, hey, how you doing? We'll be right with you. All right, cool.
Boom.
Check it.
Instead
Check
of just
the
not
food
saying nothing
going
for
out.
like
Yeah.
5-10 minutes,
Ooh,
like,
what
hey,
is
we
that?
see you, we'll
Yeah.
be with you in a moment.
The next
That
person
goes
walks
so
by.
far.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah.
Y'all been help? Yeah, okay.
Come on now.
Listen, we good.
Right.
We good. Don't ask me again. I want them to ask me one more time.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to sit down when we having a drink. Hey, do you want a little bit more? Yeah, I want a little more. I'm trying to get drunk. Nigga, we in here. You know, like, but you ever want some more? And they're like, man, you ain't came by for a half hour. Now you're going to ask me. I'm going to say no out of spite. Yeah. And I'm going to be mad about it because I really want more.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
We're going to have to stop at the radio bar on the way home now. We got to stop on the way because she acted like that. You know, or he did. But
I just ate at I'm just gonna say, man, I ate at Clink and Daggers the other day, and I was unimpressed on all levels.
Well, I mean, it's Clink and Daggers, and I mean,
but they're supposed to be,
old
you know
school.
what I mean?
But you got. I'm gonna be real, and I get it.
I get it now too. After this last time,
ain't no Clink and Daggers hate here. It's just like when them old school places like that's old school. They had their own. They had their old way. It is what it is.
Yeah.
They got their client. It's built in. It's a little bit old school there. Yeah. I was wondering what you was going to say. That one right there. Hey, yeah. That's like over where I ain't never been there.
Dude,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been, no. I've been right past it. Yeah. I looked in there. Anything that looked like they could have filmed Home Alone in it or something like that. One of them 80s, 90s. I ain't going in them old spots like that, man. Like, look like they had their family dinner there. Yeah. I'm cool on it, man. You know what you're going to get. Well, and there's I feel like, I guess I am low-key hating a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. It's fine, though. It's cool. It is. For what it is. But
it isn't, though. That's the problem. That's the problem.
There you go.
And that's unfortunate because Clink and Daggers has had this name, this perception in town as being kind of one of the premier spots to eat at, right? For some time, because it is old, like you said, set in. But I went there and just everything about it, was just like, what is going on to where this is supposed to be one of our premier spots and this is the service.
All right, well,
service wasn't terrible, but just like the food itself was just like, this is average. Like,
yeah, well, this is what I'm gonna say, and this is just being a real, and this is like a life thing as well. Like, so complacency can be real, but at one time, Clink and Daggers was that shit, right? And they was killing it, definitely. And you got your name up there, and they were doing it, To hold the number one spot for a long time, in order to do that, you got to adjust. And you got to move, and you got to go with the times, and you got to do that. Well, I ain't going to lie to you. When I was 20, it was easier. When I was 30, it's easier. Now I'm 40, it ain't easy. I'm like, man, what are you talking about? That tastes good. And you know what? But you have to be willing to want to do those kind of things. You have to be willing to kind of move and change with the times. And especially like places like them old school joints like that. There are people that have been going there for so long don't even realize that it's like that. They just know what they already gonna get.
Right.
They know what they're gonna get, so they ain't worrying about it. They're gonna be like this. Bobby, cool. Let old Lou come sit back over there in that seat, So, but that's kind of like, I get it, because especially those kind of places, they just built in like that. But I mean, it's almost like, yo, you know what the young, if you know, you kind of know. If you would have hit me and be like, yo, John, I'm going to Clink and Daggers, I'm like, okay, bro. I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'm gonna be like that, yo. I'm like, yo, you go with your parents or something like that,
Yeah, it was my dad's
there
birthday.
You go.
Yep.
Hey, I already knew, Hey, I go back to Orlando. My dad and them, my granddad used to go to the same place, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, hey, granddad, let's go hit the one. Whoa. He gonna be like, no, Joseph, you paying for it? Joseph, what you doing now? We going over here. So, my dad, they got their spots. They got things. And Clink and Daggers been that spot. So, right. Churchill's been that spot. Like, I like Churchill's.
Churchill's is last time it was good.
But like, I'll be like, hey, I tell my lady, like, Carly, we want to go eat place. So like, you want to go to Churchill's? She's like, so me, I'm gonna have a ball. I bring my brother. We're gonna have a good time. It's steak and big old sides. I can eat that, but that's old school. So,
we kind of were talking about where you were mentioning on your journey to being in culinary arts, challenges, of change and stuff that you have to go through. So, what is one of the toughest challenges you faced in pursuing your dream?
That's a good question, big dog. Uh, kind of, I would say more like defining what the end goal is and what I want that experience to be. Because then it's like once you commit to those things, and it's like, all right, then you know what you need to do to get there. And I live my life for other people and my family. It's very important to me, and my children, and the people at that restaurant, and people I spend a lot of time with. It's very important to me. So for me to define my vision, it's almost like somebody out there, they're doing a great job and they're doing what they do, but they have no meaning behind it. It's easy to say, hey, I just want this award. Well, cool. Once you get that, it's whatever. What are you going to do after that? So to me, it was like really defining what it is and what I want the legacy to be and how to get there and to commit to doing it. Hey, you know what? Joe, maybe you don't need to be drinking like this. Maybe we need to wake up in the morning and do this. Maybe we need to learn how to do this. Maybe it is sacrificing. Maybe it's learning to be patient and listen, listen to my wife, listen to the kids. There's only 24 hours in a day. I spend like 12 of them at work, hour in the car. Every moment, every part of this journey is like precious. So if my lady has a bad day or something like that, or man, what's it gonna do if I go and argue with it? But it used to be like that. Like, you don't understand what I'm doing. And maybe it was like, no, maybe Joe, you need to grow and learn and listen. Maybe you need to learn to do this. And these are like the personal parts of it.
Yep.
In order to get there. Because the household needs to be in order for everything to kind of work. So once I understood kind of like what I wanted the dope thing to be and understanding the lifestyle, and I see it, and sometimes when I have to, like telling people about it, they're like, man, I don't get it. And then they do it, and they're like, I get it. And what Luna's going to be and what we kind of want this legacy and this ride to be. It was like, all right, cool, well, in order to do that, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing this. You need to prioritize this. This has to be important. Things that maybe you weren't ever thinking about before. You got to sit back. You got to learn to listen. You got to ask this question. You got to humble yourself. You got to wake up earlier. I stay up late. Stay up late. Make that time like, productive. I'm always doing this. Make every whatever useful and beneficial to you. Understand, kind of like foresee the bumps and the bruises, be able to take it. And that's a lot of things you have to like, but when I say every day is learning, you got to learn and build that into like whatever you want to do. And so I think that's kind of like what it is for me right there. If you know, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, me building my businesses and working through that process of trying to build something that's going to have legacy, have importance, impact. It challenges you on a personal level in so many ways because, like you said, you have to have really most of all that in order to get your business in order.
Yeah.
And if you don't, like, there's just going to be a lot of dysfunction and unhappiness within you. And then if you have partners or, family, like, obviously that's going to affect them as well. So to have it takes so much to put it all into order to allow you to have what I think as true success. Yeah. And, I definitely came from a certain lifestyle in my young adult life where I was completely reckless.
I'm
Just
loving it.
You know what I mean?
I
Just
enjoy
like,
it. Fun sometimes.
it definitely has some fun. Definitely got myself in a lot of trouble too.
Man, it's fun. But you have to go through those kind of things. And then it's like, and I ain't gonna lie, I never lose sight of that. I still have fun like that. But how do you control it, Joe? How you do those kind of things? Like, man, when people be like, man, yo, that part of me ain't there no more. And I'm gonna let you know right now, that part of me is there.
Yeah.
I understand it. I can control it better.
Yeah.
I understand what it is. Sometimes I don't want to let it out. That's a part of what this is. But it's also just knowing it and knowing what you built. And like you said too, hey, if you ever meet somebody and their home life ain't together, we good? We good? 'Cause I'll go down there now. We can bring it back to them now. Don't touch the Runner. Oh, they might know what I ride now. But like, hey, if you meet somebody and their house ain't together, you come into the kitchen and I can see that you're a little disorganized, you're a little bit all over the place. And if you talk to me about chaos, I'm looking for it. Man, I did this and I was out and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll see how you do. Can you micromanage that? Can you put that aside and do this work? Some people can do that.
Yeah.
Some people can
rare.
Some people can do it, and then when it's time to get down, they get down. You're like, all right, cool. I ain't worrying about you.
Yeah.
Listen, just get here.
Yeah.
I know when you get into this building, you're gonna put in that work, and I ain't worrying about that. Yeah, we know. Of course, I'm gonna take your side. I'm gonna talk to you. I want you to be healthy. I want you to do all that. But if I feel assured, cool, bro, go ahead. If it affects your work and you can tell, you're like, all right, man, come on. And that's what it is. So you have to learn how to do all those kind of things. So, and then once home is together, and that's every day you have to work on it. Every day, Once home is together, it is easier to be like, yo, man, I want to get the hoodies. Baby, I'll be home once the hoodies is done. All right, we here, we doing it. So, and even then it's balance. Because you can be like, all right, we went and got the hoodies 4 times this week. You can be like, all right, maybe day 5 I'm staying home, baby. So it's just a lot of that. And then being able to kind of in the restaurant industry too, especially like our restaurant, we work together so much. We're together so much that, we're our own sounding boards. So even then, it's like learning to listen. I always got advice. Sometimes people don't want to hear it. And sometimes I need to recognize that, where you be like, all right, hey, I just want to talk real quick. I don't want you to tell me what I need to do. Like that, everything. So everything works. But once you kind of get that and you get that synergy and you start building that, then all right, cool. You always know, like, hey, man, this is a good spot. We can do this here. We could talk. We got to get down to work. We can get that. So, shout out to the guys and the ladies that I work with at the restaurant. They know. They my boys. They know. So.
Do you like to read?
Yeah, I used to love to read. I used to love it, but I like to.
You said podcast.
I like to listen.
Podcasts.
I like to listen.
Yeah.
I used to like to read. Man, I'm little trees, bro. I'll be tired. I read too much. Boom. But I'll listen all day.
Audio
I'm working out. I have to get into
podcasts.
audio books. So if somebody recommends a book to me, I'll find it and listen to it. But if I gotta start downloading and looking for stuff, nah. But I be on podcasts like crazy.
All right, what are some of your favorite podcasts right now?
All right, well, I love history. So everybody know I love history. Hardcore History with Dan Carlin.
Yeah.
I listen to every single episode at least 30 times. I'm talking these 7-8 hour podcasts. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. History Daily. Earn Your Leisure.
Oh, I forgot.
Restaurant Strategy. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Listen to that. 520 Podcast with Jeff Teague and them boys. The Knuckleheads. If you ever think about it, I listen to nothing but history stuff. If you get like an old NBA player and they're telling you a story, they're telling you a history.
Yeah.
It might just seem current. So I grew up a fan of 90s basketball, 2000s basketball. So when I listen to Knuckleheads, they talking to Tayshaun Prince about something that happened 20 years ago, I'm here for it. So what he say you in the locker room, bro? Like, oh, shit, that was gangster.
Yeah.
You know, I love histories.
Yeah.
I love, like I said, restaurant strategy. I love hearing what's going on out there, like the different approaches. And sometimes it's almost like, all right, cool, I'm doing the right thing. Didn't even know it. You know, like, all right, cool. Yeah. Oh, man, earning the leisure, like business and the money. They talk about that. And then, yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Cool, man. Yeah, there we go. I always like to ask, what people are reading or listening to, just to, give people that listen to our podcast some information if they want to check out a new
hardcore history.
book or something.
If y'all like history.
Yeah, I've listened to hardcore history.
That's that shit right there. He got a great voice.
Yeah.
Like he like bring you in and he talk about shit. You're like, oh, I get that. Oh, Planet of the Apes. Oh yeah, I get that. So, and I love history. So,
what aspects do you love about Spokane? What are some of the reasons you've stayed here and believe?
Oh, I got my family and the kids.
Right,
that was
of
like
course.
just foundational. But like I don't know. I just kind of grew up here. Grew up in the city a little bit, and it has similarities to like Orlando and like not ways y'all might think, but like I remember being at a Magic game with my granddaddy, and there's people from Miami that was like behind us, and they was just trashing the city. Oh, ain't nothing to do in Orlando. Oh, they got the outlet malls and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, man, I didn't think it was that bad. My granddaddy told me, like, man, y'all shut up. Y'all go all back down south. Y'all take that shit to Miami. Well, hey, I graduated here, went back to Virginia, came back here, I started going to school and meeting people. I never really explored the city, I think my first couple of years here, all I did was talk about was going back to Florida, and met some black people, and doing all of that. And then I just started growing, and I was just in the city a lot, and started meeting people and doing things. And I had my kids, and I love my kids, and so we just kind of grew together here. And then I found like a little community. Found like a community of people that was like just like me, and that was there for me. And in a way, it kind of replaced like my family. They know who they are. Like my boy Duke, my boy Marquis, Thomas, man, Scott, Adam, these people who were really like, they were there for me. Like, Patrick, like these people, they know my mom and them know, So he was like just good people, and I had a great community of people, and they kind of brought me up. And, I always felt like Spokane, even though it was doing some things here, it was like Seattle's little brother. People look down, people from the West always look down on us. So that kind of like made me feel that Orlando thing where I was like, I ain't really like that. Then culinary school, I found out that we had all these farms around here and all these like this great land, and that people from Seattle were coming over here getting ingredients. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. And it was almost like a misconception that you had to leave Spokane to go to Seattle or Portland or California, to like be successful. And I was kind of like, man, why couldn't you just do that here? That's the problem. That's why we're not growing, is because all the good people were leaving. Like if you're good at what you do, build it here. And I think like slowly but surely it started happening. Yeah. And I started seeing it. Started seeing people coming here and people building and they were doing things like that. And then, it just, you could see, you could feel it. The basketball team started doing good. My dad and them were calling me like, oh, I tell people, man, I don't know about Gonzaga. Yeah, why he do that, Joe? Oh, I tell people here, because over there, they're like, oh, But it just kind of just grew. And then it became, my kids went to school here. You start knowing the area. I've been in the same area for a while, and then my son graduated from high school here. So it's just like, next thing you know, you're here. This year, like Florida's always in me, but this is my home.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it was cool to see it grow. It's cool to be a part of it. You know, like, you know, that's something you could say. I've been a part of it.
Yeah.
Whether my story is small or big, man, I had a little part in it. You know?
Yeah.
And that's cool. And that right there is cool when you sit back and you watch it. You're like, oh, you know, hey, y'all ever ate at that restaurant? Yeah, man, that dude Joe up there, yeah, it's cool. I had a part of this city kind of growing a little bit. That's cool.
I love that you said you know, no matter how big or small my story is, I'm a part of the story, because the motto for my brand is every city has a story, every story has chapters. And we're the chapters. I'm living my chapter, you're living your chapter. That's like the philosophical idea behind this podcast, and why I call it Chapter Joe Morris, you know, because you live in your story and you come on here to tell your story, and you know, you're part of the city. So.
The pride in the city. To see it grow. And, you know, and I grew up in another city, and I've seen bigger cities and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, and we're growing. I know, like, we're getting a little feedback and pushback about, I keep looking out here, I'm trying to see how bad the homeless is out here and all of that, but I ain't seeing it.
They keep this street pretty, like, main ad right here.
But I see it. I mean,
but
I
right
know
around the corner,
you know, yeah,
it gets crazy.
You know, but I mean, I'm just looking because, like, yo, I've been to some places where you're like, hey, man, you ever been to a place where you're really worried about stuff?
Oh yeah,
I've been to some places where I remember being like 10 years old, 11 years old, and we was in Baltimore. We were going somewhere. And my dad pulled over. We had my grandmother Oldsmobile. He pulled over to get gas. He was on the east side of Baltimore. He was filling the gas tank up, and these cats from across the way seen him. They were just sitting on whatever. They got up, they yelled at him. My dad looked. Another dude got up, yelled at him. He shook that thing, put it in there, hopped out the car, and them boys walked over to us. And my dad pulling down that Oldsmobile. All right, my dad is not that dude. I ain't never been like, my dad knew what time it was.
right.
That's different. That's a different kind of feel. That's when I think about, like, man, when people say they're feeling unsafe and stuff like that. That's what I feel. I ain't never really felt that here.
Yeah.
And I've been in some hairy situations here, and I ain't never really felt that here. I ain't never been like, hey, baby, we can't go down there. We can't go down there because I might react differently than the way you approach me.
Right.
But I ain't never been like, it ain't gonna stop me from coming in here and talking to Bobby. I ain't gonna walk down there, but Bobby, them people out there. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, there's an issue. Every city's got their problems. Everything does, man. You know, man. Hey, man, I go to my Walmart. I go to my neighborhood and where I live at. Shit everywhere around there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feeling one way or another about it. Just leave me and mine alone.
Yeah.
I hope your life get better and I hope things are good, but it's not affecting us. And I kind of feel like we're like getting trashed about it right now.
Totally.
You know, and I just feel like there's more to it than that, but...
Yeah, I agree.
So, you know, but I don't know. That's what I'm kind of looking now, but yeah. No, it's cool to see the city grow and to see things like moving and grooving.
Yeah.
And I love that.
It's definitely blossoming right now, and it's cool. Yeah, I just you know, because there are a lot of mixed feelings about Spokane. Another term I use on a lot of my hats is for the love of the city, and it's, you know, my concept behind that is like, it's like a relationship. There's good things, bad things that come with any individual, with any place, anything, right? And it's like choosing love and choosing to see what's beautiful instead of us just hyper focusing on what's not right.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of great things in Spokane, a lot of great people, a lot of great businesses.
Like I said, and it's growing and it's building. And growth. Every time you grow, man, you're gonna have like bumps, bruises, different things like that. That's a part of life. That's what it's gonna be. But you know, it's crazy because I feel like when people leave, they either appreciate it more, and when they come back, like, oh, it is what it is, because like every city has it. Every city has it.
Yeah.
But it just sounds, I don't know, I think It sounds cooler to be like, hey, I'm from LA. Oh, I live over here. You know, I used to like be like, oh man, I'm from Orlando. They'd be like, oh. Are you from Florida? Like, yeah, like, where? I'm like, Orlando. They're like, oh. I mean, we went to Disney World one time, and I'm like, hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with the O, you know, or whatever. But I feel like people in those cities probably feel the same way, where they're like, man, this place sucks. I'm trying to get out of here. Sometimes you got to get out to get a new perspective on something. Yeah. But whatever you are, you'll find it wherever you go. So, you know, like,
I agree.
It is. So that's how I look at it. But, like, I don't know. I appreciate it. I appreciate this place. It's cool. It's doing its thing. It's growing. You know, you know, I love to see more. I feel like I'm seeing more people of color. I love seeing that. Yeah. I love seeing it grow. I love seeing, you know, it just becoming more diverse and just getting bigger and better, because we gotta have that. We gotta have that cultural overflow and everything 100%. Like that. So, you know, like I said, I mean, I don't know what the stats are, but I'm pretty sure our crime ain't crazy. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure things are happening, but I don't know. So I never felt like I was like unsafe here. You know what I mean? So to me, I kind of feel like, especially when it comes from within, that we're all dogging out our own spot and everything like that. But I don't know. It's cool to me. I'm gonna have a good time, you know, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go sit outside. I like sitting outside the spot. You know, I don't like getting cold all the time. I enjoy the summer, man. Need a little more heat, baby.
Right.
You know.
Well, cool, man. You got anything else you want to share? Any culinary dope events you want to shout out?
Be on the lookout. I think we're gonna drop this wine dinner. We might do this wine dinner. There's a sommelier. Her name is Justine. She just opened up her own like wine spot in Cellar and Scholar. It's gonna be gangster. It's gonna be whatever. You can like get your own wine and stuff from there. But you know, we did the cocktails. So I was like, man, we gotta do the wine. But you know, I've been feeling it's gonna be getting colder. You know, everything gotta have a theme. So this is kind of like that. You know, I told her, I said, decadence. We're trying to show it off, man. We're trying to do it big, you know. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be man. Let it out, bro.
I tried to. It
didn't want to come. So just you know, follow Culinary Dope and Instagram, you know, whatever. Just be on the lookout. But
yeah, we'll put all your links in the show notes.
Coming out. I ain't got many, so don't be hitting me up like that, people. No, I'm just joking. That's the balance part too, because like even with that, you know, like man, I like to get to myself sometimes, you know what I mean? But no, well I think we got something popping in October, so yeah, be on the lookout for it. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Cool. So I'll let you know too. Like drop it. So
yeah, there we go. All right, close it up.
My man, he back there.
Yeah, shout out Brennan.
Can't see him. That's the boy.
Yeah, Spokecast sponsoring and producing my show.
Yeah, he back there.
This chapter was with Joe Morris from Culinary Dope. I'm your host, Bobby J. Till next time. Peace.